already know what this is. You know what it is. Happy Taco Tuesday, everybody. I mean that shit. It's getting ready to be some lovely tacos up in this motherfucker. A little bit of guacamole, right? Chipotle sauce. Gonna have a couple of turkey ones, right? And a couple of shrimp ones. Hard and soft. Happy Taco Tuesday, ladies. I'm glad y'all made it through your Monday. We have Jason Brown, June Brown's wife. Okay, I don't know who June Brown is, but hey, wife, I survived Nicaragua. That is a very, very funny goddamn name. Dahmer's Crockpot, V in training. We got KLSB up in this motherfucker. Who else we got in here? Y'all always here, and I appreciate y'all. CJ the Diva, Miss Egypt Thomas is in this motherfucker. Y'all, let's go. So check it out. Now, this is going to be very interesting because I don't do like dating shit. I'm more of a safety officer. Okay. And what I'm noticing lately, or as of late, whenever somebody, black women, they can be determined to divest, but it's something that pulls them back every now and then, looking to see, and they'll peek behind the curtain to see if anything got better. Nah, it ain't got better. Then they'll come back in a couple of more months, look behind the curtain, still seeing motherfuckers getting beat up or whatever. But it's the nerve of the choosy ass niggas that get on my nerves. Here's the deal. I don't think black people, black men and women, had a problem with slavery for real, for real. I think they had a problem with who was in charge. I think they had a problem with who was in charge because the whole dating system with black folks is set up just like antebellum slavery. Just like it. We're going to do some comparison here. I really want you, let me say this first, to get your ass up out of Blackistan. It's not going to get any better. I don't know what you're holding on hope for, but you're going to fuck around here and get your issue. I'd hate to see it, but like I said, I'll cover it. They're mean. They're nasty. They're not family oriented. There's low morale, low finances, so on and so forth. With the black women that prefer black men, let me tell you, this is what you're preferring. And keep in mind that these men, if you want to call them that, they got a shit log, so I guess they classified as men, are the lowest performers on any fucking totem pole. I guess you can count sports and say they okay at that, but if you look as of late, those motherfuckers are even getting lighter. The biracial children of those misogynistic ass niggas that y'all love so much, they're becoming adults. White boys getting pretty good at sports. Hell, the MVP was just a white dude. But let's go. Let's go. In football, by the way. You don't have a problem with slavery, black women. You don't. I think that if black men were in charge, you'd be okay. Let's go over some of the things that they like. Here's the list. They must do laundry. You are charged with cleaning out shitty fucking drawers. I already know the hygienic situation with niggas, so I don't want to hear that part. You seeing shitty drawers every goddamn week, maybe twice a week, depending on how often you do your laundry. But the Naker said, you got to do this. Okay. What else did he say? She got to cook. Bitch, please. You got to remember you're doing this for the lowest man on a totem pole, which by default means that your self-esteem is in the fucking trash. Period. Only men that produce, build, problem solve, and provide deserve a woman to even think that she needs to be doing this for you. You've been home all day in her house, on her couch, playing your PlayStation that she bought you. After she gets home from her job, you're complaining to her about how people treating you. Well, how the fuck do you know you've been on goddamn line all fucking day playing around with little kids, but we won't go into that, right? She must cook. She must clean, of course. This is mimicking slavery. This is not an option. This right here is not, you don't have any choice in the matter. They already laid it out. A lot of y'all are over there in the manosphere areas. So you know I'm not lying. These are things that they say that you must do. All of this must be agreed upon if you're going to have this cheating ass, broke ass, non-educated motherfucker to climb on top of you and infect you like that. I don't want to go through all of this without, consulting my panel, because I know at least one of y'all about to burst at the seams so far. And these just basics. It's on you, Aaliyah.
I mean, I've already said that there's something in them that has to, make them feel like they're the Lord and master over somebody. And it's like they're not, for somebody who talks about slavery and oppression all the time, they are dying to put their women back in chains. They want complete and total subservience. They want servitude. They want obedience. They want all of those things. And so, I mean, none of this shit, but they are the least deserving of it, though. Let me add that part. They are the least deserving. They have the least to offer a woman. My thing is, men used to have housewives that did all of these things. My thing is, you got to pay for that if you want that. You got to be able to support her, but they want to go 50-50. So you can't even take care of the household on your own, but you expect her to do all of this shit. Really, back in the day when a man wanted a woman to stay home and do all of this shit, he took care of everything. See, they want traditional wives, but they're not traditional niggas. Let's just be real.
There's
So,
never really, honestly, Aaliyah, it's never been a time where they were able to really do that. Because even when the so-called, because I don't believe in this shit either.
oh,
When the
trust me, I wasn't talking about for the black households. I
okay,
was
just trying
talking.
to make sure we wasn't going off the rails here.
Oh no, I wasn't talking about for the black households at all. You yourself, since you retired from work, and I know you know where I'm coming from. I wasn't
Absolutely.
talking about that. I mean, because you have a man who takes care of everything. So
Oh,
that's
that's
why
right.
you were able to retire. This is what I'm saying. Black women haven't had that luxury. Their men want all of this extra shit, but they have the least to offer their men. And my thing, they're women. So if you're gonna ask for all this shit, I mean, this is the concept that they're not getting, that they're supposed to be providing 100%, and they don't get that part.
Mm-hmm. Look, y'all, she must child rear. Listen, Black people have not changed much since the plantation. They haven't. That whole system is still in place, like in many ways. These women had to take care of these kids because back then, the plantation buck, he had multiple baby mamas, right? Now, mammies will take up for them and say, well, he would have got beat if he didn't. Let him get beat, bitch. Because guess what? You shouldn't have been there to begin with. He should have protected you from that. Y'all did not require protection from these motherfuckers, so you make excuses. Okay, so here's the deal. Why on earth is it still like that? Why is there still just you? Why the baby mama households? Why the um multiple baby daddies type shit? You don't only just let one nigga do it. You let niggas that said something nice to you. You grew up with them or whatever. You let all of them hit and leave you with a little package called a bastard on the way out. That's how it was on the plantation as well. Okay, Snapple.
Hey, happy Taco Tuesday. This is
Happy
so
Taco
funny.
Tuesday. It's true
This is so
though.
funny. It's like, and they want all this, but they can't even change a tire. Like, they're just so unreliable in like every fucking way. And it is slavery. Like, Black Love is slavery. And I love this topic tonight. I love that we get to dig into this because I am so tired of the facade of Black Love
They
with
full of
it,
shit.
yeah, it absolutely is full of shit. Even the most unicorn, so called, couple goals, ashy ass, Blackistan couples. They in some fucking slavery shit too. Like, it is. And like you said, niggas love slavery. They love it.
Absolutely. Yeah, the only thing they don't like about it is that it wasn't them in charge. Okay, let's keep moving down a little bit. She must have sex on demand. Y'all like my little acronym because I got a lot of haters out there. Okay, that would tell YouTube that I typed out the word sex when I didn't. But Y'all talked about all this R wording, all of this essaying, all of this just trying to survive ass shit. Well, ma'am, you doing the same shit with these niggas. They told you out of your mouth, yeah, sometimes when you don't feel like it, you need to do it anyway because you should be there to please your man. This shit is exactly like it is on the plantation. And let's not even bring up how many times SA and R is not reported to the police in this community. Ebony, you got something on that?
I think this is what they mean by submission. Like, this is what they mean when they say they want a submissive woman, somebody who's doing all that shit and they do nothing. I'm, and I would be a house Negro. I'm sorry.
All day.
There is no way. There's no way. If you can't do anything for me, hit the road, Buster. I'm sorry. But yes, this dynamic has not changed. Actually, it was before the Middle Passage. This was going on before they got on the ships. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then when it came on here, they came on the shores, they did the same shit. Nothing has changed. You're absolutely right. So wait a minute, who's supposed to save the community and who's supposed to get together with whom? This makes no sense. You do all the work and you get nothing. That's what I'm saying. Ladies, they want you cheap because they have nothing to give.
What's going on there for TT?
I am over here laughing because I'm like, they would call me a bougie, expensive bitch then, because like I'm sitting here reading this list and it's like, I have gotten more for doing less than this. Like, I don't understand this. How do you have nothing?
And I'm tired of black women pretending like they don't like this dynamic. They love this dynamic. Your men, your so-called men said they like this dynamic. They just didn't want the white dude to do it. Well, if he didn't want the white dude to do it, he was supposed to protect you from it. I don't know what y'all ain't getting. I'm serious. I don't know what you're not getting. It's the same dynamic, just the wrong people in charge, according to Blackistan.
No, this is ridiculous. I've had men give me the equivalent. I had a guy give me the equivalent of a down payment on a house to not leave him. I left him and took that. Boy, I wish a man with nothing would come to me and say, you need to cook, you need to clean, you need to, man, if you,
The thing is, they saying it to them like straight up. Some of these women, they frequent the manosphere areas, and this is, I'm not being hyperbolic. Anybody in this chat could tell you over there, that's how they talk. And they talk like this because they know they can. They know you're not going anywhere. Look, they got you for cheap, if not free. Okay. When you went into slavery, the slave master bought you. You letting the nigga do the same shit for free, bitch. Free. What? Aaliyah, come on now. Shit. It's annoying.
I mean, see, let me tell y'all something. See, I am a Southern woman born and bred. My accent will always tell on me, which is why, and that's something that clearly bothers some of these dirty foot ass birds more than it should. But, this is why I get tired of them talking about slavery. I'm tired of them talking about the Willie Lynch letter and the makings of a slave. I've heard about all this bullshit ad nauseum. And I'm just here to say that shit like this is just another way to manipulate Black women by keeping you in service to some of the most treasonous men on the planet. And I know for my diaspora sisters, they may not be familiar with the Willie Lynch letter, but supposedly it was from a white slave master who supposedly told other slave masters that the best way to keep a slave is by setting them against each other, by taking advantage of their differences to promote conflict among them, which is the best way to keep control of them. So he suggested using fear, distrust, and envy to sow the seeds of discord and hatred. Now, who does that sound like? And so he managed to do this by separating them by age, physical attributes, and skin color. That sounds like the Black man all day long to me.
That's how they found out it was a hoax. The Willie Lynch letter was
that's
hoax.
what I was about to say.
Yeah.
So that sounds exactly, but this is what they ride on a lot. especially when the topic of all these isms come up, colorism, featureism, texturism, things like that. So, but this is the Willie Lynch letters, what they rely on. And I was just about to say it had already been proven to be a hoax. And so it's like, but that sounds like the black man all day to me, because
Every
the
day.
goal is to keep you dependent upon them and only them. So now when you apply that logic to today, this is the ideology that has given you all these isms, and they are determined to either put or keep black women on this modern day plantation. And they've done it through humiliation and degradation. And they separate you by light skin, dark skin. They constantly, their goal is to get as close to whiteness as possible. So now they have you skin bleaching and risking skin cancer and putting all this mercury in your skin, slowly poisoning yourself. They've done it through featureism. They have you thinking that your traditional African features are somehow less feminine, masculine, or unattractive. So now you're contouring your nose to death. They've done it through texturism. My hair's 3A, my hair's 4B, I'm 4C. They do it through nationality, American women versus everybody else. Let's keep the diaspora wars going. They do this through destroying your image by ensuring that the world sees you as trash or someone incapable of human kindness or being loved the right way. And this is why they gloat when other groups of men humiliate you, harm you, or treat you like trash. So they can say, you see, black women, it's not just us who doesn't like you. They want you totally dependent on them. Meanwhile, they're constantly throwing their relationships with these other groups of women in your face. And so they want you miserable and your self-esteem in the toilet. And that's why you speak your mind. You're angry and hostile and rude. If you aren't dependent on them, you're too independent. So you're a radical feminist. And that means you're not worthy of real dates with flowers or someone to open doors or someone who actually pays the check. So if you don't want to accept Kentucky Fried Chicken in the front seat of a car for your first date, you're expecting way too much somehow. I mean, see, that's what I'm saying. They want to keep you in the lowest position with them. If you're overly confident or you think too much of yourself, you're arrogant and you need to be taken down a peg or two. If you put your needs first at any point, you're selfish and entitled. I mean, it's just, you cannot win. They strive to.
What about Aaliyah? Aaliyah, what about, you don't have any kids? What's wrong with you? Okay.
Yeah,
or
that too.
you don't have any kids? What's wrong with you? Something wrong with you. But, bitch, you got too many kids. Which is it?
Here's the deal, y'all.
You'll never be able to win.
Yeah, you'll never be able to win with them. Everything you do irritates them, because here's the deal. They don't like you. And this is why, if you out there troll lady that was trying to push that colorism topic over here, I don't give a fuck what black men like. I wish you would get the fuck up off of that shit, because the colorism is happening in the black community. And no amount of begging, right? Asking, shaming, all of that shit, addressing, finding examples and all that's not going to change them, bitch, because they don't like you. So they're not ashamed of that shit. They proudly cheer to more light-skinned children. Tell you the same. They could literally be twins. Everything's the same on each woman. If one of them is lighter and the other one is darker, they're not going to like the lighter one. My suggestion is to get out that whole fucking matrix and not give a fuck about that shit. The fuck you mean?
She sounds so goddamn stupid with that, because it's like, you're not white, honey. They still don't like you. You're not white. Like, I don't care how light you are, you're not white. And this is from a light-skinned bitch. Like, you are not white. They do not like you. I don't know why. Why is that so hard to grasp? But it's just, I can't stand it.
Here's the thing. If we're really gonna keep making these colorism arguments, the hoteps and hotepstresses, the hoteps and their minions, or however, the hotepstresses, or however you say it, they still don't have a leg to stand on, because the brown paper bag test has always been a thing, even when it came to the black families, black churches, HBCUs, and black Greek letter organizations. So that's some history for your ass. Once again, your own people did this to you. So you can't, keep blaming these other, communities for that bullshit. I mean, you don't have a leg to stand on. Your own people have done this shit to you. But I guess that they'll find a way to make that the white man's fault too, actually.
Oh, everything's the white man's fault. Snapper, you got anything on this?
No, frankly, I'm bored of any kind of colorisms and honestly slavery. I don't give a fuck about either one.
It's like repetitive every goddamn time. Oh, look, he said this color is shit. Well, if you're at a point where you should expect a nigga to say something colorist because they're what? Colorist. You can't be surprised every time the same shit happens over and over and over again. And they
Oh,
don't give
but
a fuck.
DZ, I'm a colorist too. I like white dudes.
Oh, I love white
I
men.
like anything but black. How's that?
I love me some white men. How about that part too?
Well, for me, it's just anything but black. Anything but black. I'm okay with that.
Let me say this. I mean, they strive to keep you focused on racism and social injustice so you can't see that the real enemy has been right under your noses the entire time, smiling in your face, climbing right in bed with you and fucking on you, and then hopping right online to tell the world you're the worst women in the world to be with. And I
Oh,
think
don't
it's
forget your
time.
coochie stink too.
Yeah, I mean, it's time to wake up, Black women. Your problem is the Black man, and it always has been. And since there's no one within earshot of what I just said can argue with one thing and say that it was not true, the next argument will always be is, well, white men do it too. Not that I'm lying or what I'm saying is false. It's just that, but white men do it too, because they want to change the subject so they don't have to deal with reality in any type of way. And this is why we focus more so on divestment here, because you can't or won't see it, deal with it, or heal from it, or move on from it until you see it for what it is and get the fuck away from it. Your light-skinned sisters are not your problem. You are not the problem. The men y'all keep fucking on is the problem. These women don't give a shit about all this shit, so they need to stop the cap. They care about what the Black men think. End of discussion. That's what this is really all about. So once you really start on your divestment journey, you will see that shit becomes less and less important.
And the black
And
men
it's
don't
always,
think.
yes, and it's always the white men do it too. It's always the white men do it too when it's the degenerate shit. You never see them
Period.
say, well, we built this building because the white men did it too. We established the country because the white men did it too. We launched a rocket because the white men. It's always, it's always when they do something they ain't supposed to. They're like, well, hey, they were bad too, like some little kids.
Let's look at some more similarities here because it doesn't stop there. Okay, so that was sex on demand, right? Overall, you must be submissive. And I want y'all to look at that picture on the right. Okay. Why on earth would you do something like that? Why would you do shit like that? Over the years, I've seen Black women with dog leashes on, not by themselves, with two other women on the same leash with the same man. They want you motherfuckers to be on your knees. Literally, she's on her knees, literally begging them. And spoiler alert, you're doing it. You're doing it every time you try to get Black men to stop being colors. Every time you go and march for they fucking ass and try to get white people off their back and all that shit there, you're doing it. You're proving my point. This shit sucks. Everything is about submissive and them standing over you, looking down, and make no mistake about it. They looking down their nose at your ass. It ain't, oh, you're a good woman because you did this. Oh, that's amazing. You did that. No, it's like, yeah, filthy bitch, get in your place. Get in your child. Next.
Can I say something about this?
Absolutely.
I've seen pictures like this, and I'm not gonna say no names because I got a soft spot for this celebrity right now. But I've seen pictures like this with Black women doing shit like this, and it is upheld and praised by the community as couple goals. But let that have been one of us with one of our brads or one of our non-Black men that we date doing a dumbass photo shoot like that. Oh, bed winch this. That's a fetish that. Do not let anybody tell you about that fetish fucking bullshit. Blackistan and those damn gorillas, they fetishize Black women like a motherfucker. That fucking pose right there, that's some fucking sick fetishization slavery shit right there. But because he's a Kang, nobody gives a fuck, right? It's just a photo shoot.
This shit is damn near identical. I'm just going to keep it real with you. Have y'all ever seen the sector of Black folks here on YouTube that do domestic discipline? Have you seen that shit? It's basically where if the woman does something wrong, he can hit her in certain ways.
What?
I'm
Isn't
telling
that
you.
shit
Are
that
you
the Nature
insane?
Boys cult was doing? Isn't that the shit the cult was doing?
I don't know,
Nature
but
Boy, his cult.
oh yeah,
That
they did it too, right?
yeah.
And these women signing up for it. And here's the thing: they know black women, want a black man so fucking bad, till they're volunteering for domestic violence. You're an adult. You don't have to be corrected by him. I don't know what would turn you on about a man being a dictator in your house, but that's weird. That's
I
weird.
mean,
He's supposed to be protecting you.
just so we're clear, there is nothing that they do that we would be able to turn around and do with a man that's not black, and they not turning it into something weird and and try to degrade it and disparage it and make it something that's humiliating. See, when you're doing it with a black man, oh, that's the king and queen. That's not a problem. But if it's a black woman and she with anything other than a black man and she do some of the shit they do, you see, they made a big deal out of women proposing to men when Jonathan talked about Jody Turner Smith asking him to marry him. Now, out of all the videos we had saw with women getting on bended knee, pregnant and all, proposing to black men, they saw no problem with that. But soon as Joshua Jackson, Lord, I called him Jonathan. But either way, as soon as Joshua Jackson said that his wife had proposed to him, they made such a huge issue out of that. Like, they dragged the fuck out of that lady. So my thing is, it was cute when y'all did it, but when he tells his story, oh, his wife gets attacked for that. They've been doing that shit.
If you want to throw the fuck up, go on Facebook, YouTube, and other social media platforms and just type in domestic discipline, and you're going to see a bunch of fuck shit. For real. His issues are more important than yours. Now, both of y'all were slaves, okay? But for some reason, him being a slave was more atrocious than you being one. Because technically, you're gonna have to slave anyway, even if we were free, because you chasing around black men. So therefore, your capacity and your functionality is not going to change. Just his. He was upset that he's not on par with the white man. I'm telling you, that's what it is. They didn't have a problem with you getting beat and whipped and R-worded and all that shit there. They just made it to where if black men were treated that way, it's a problem. And you bought that shit hook, line, and sinker. Till this day, all the stuff that black women go through, it's crazy how much shit black women go through. You don't have time for that. You ain't got time for that. But you take your ass to Office Max and get poster boards and shit when somebody made a mistake and stepped on a nigga foot. This is ridiculous, y'all. It's ridiculous. And it's literally identical to what it was on that fucking plantation. If them niggas can speak for the plantation and ain't never been there, I'm going to speak on that motherfucking shit too. Okay? Goose and gander around this bitch. Shane, you got anything?
Not on this particular one, but a little bit before, I just want to address what Aaliyah said. They want you to be completely dependent on them. They want you to be completely emotionally dependent on them. Not no fucking finances. They don't want to pay for shit.
Ain't that the fucking truth? Let's go.
Oh, absolutely.
Your education is downplayed. Now, here's the really, really good one. When black people were slaves, they were not allowed to learn how to read. They had to just work. Okay? Now, you go today and get you a degree. The first thing a nigga gonna tell you is that degree ain't gonna keep you warm at night. Whenever you're celebrating some sort of triumph, you got certified, you graduated, diploma, degree, whatever, they look you square in the fucking eye and say, well, shit, you got that from the white man's institution. It ain't gonna keep you warm at night. You still ain't gonna be able to get the jobs they gonna give they women. It's a bunch of like twisted mouth bullshit. Okay, nothing has changed whatsoever. All right, anybody got something on this?
Yeah. Meanwhile, they want you to throw them a motherfucking parade if they graduate high school with a 1.96 GPA.
Shit, they want you to throw them a parade when they get the fuck out of jail.
Shane, you took the words right out of my mouth. I swear to goodness, I was about to say the same thing.
I'm sorry, but my degree keeps me warm at night. It's called the light bill. It's called the heating bill. Idiot. I mean, I don't. And they say this because here's the thing: black women, they're either projecting on you or they're blaming you. Okay? So because they did not go and do, well, they've got to knock you down a few pegs. So you let them drive your Lexus and not pay any bills. This is crazy.
They have
But they want
always,
you to take care of them, though. That's the thing. Is how are you going to tell somebody your education don't mean shit, yet you want that same education to buy you an Xbox? Like, which one is it? Like, can you pick a lane?
Pick a struggle.
Damn.
And can I interject too? Let's be clear. The ones who do somehow by chance, probably by affirmative action, do snag a degree, those gorillas, they be hating too. They feel like they in competition with you no matter what. So even if they do manage to make something of themselves, they don't want you to make nothing of yourself. And if you decide that you're gonna be accomplished, they're gonna tear you down and belittle you and all of your accomplishments. And just like someone had pointed out in the comments earlier, even if you do end up with one of them who can be financially secure, keep you financially secure, oh, you really gonna be in some damn slavery. I mean, you are really going to be damn
Oh,
near on
yes,
plantation.
ma'am. You got that straight. You got that straight.
You will have to do everything, and you will take every form of abuse.
Yes,
period.
you will.
Yeah.
that's what I mean
And
by that. Go
the
ahead.
2 pussy minimum.
Oh yeah.
Don't
That's why I
forget.
say they always want you to be dependent on them for something, even no matter what it is. And when they finally do get you in that position, that's when you see the type of monster that he really is. Because I hate to break it to y'all, but Tia's husband, yeah, I hope y'all know he coming for her bank, right? I know I wasn't the only one that saw that, because these women were sitting up here bragging about the fact that she had a prenup, and I knew then. I said, see, y'all bragging about that prenup, that y'all, I guess they don't know that prenups can be challenged and thrown out of court all the time, because his lawyers can make the argument, because remember, she's divorcing him. He's not divorcing her. So her lawyers can make the argument that she's not upholding her end of their marital contract. So he's challenging that prenup, and she may very well end up having to pay him spousal support. So he's coming for that bag. And I said, look, great gene activated. Kyra talk about it all the time. I said, she finna see a whole different side of that nigga now.
Meanwhile, Tamara's doing good. So
Facts.
And that motherfucker looked like the Michael Jackson zombie in Thriller. That's what he looked like.
Tia husband?
Yes, he looked just like that one when he turned into the zombie. That's exactly what that thing looks like. And I saw that, Aaliyah. I saw that he was trying to challenge her. And I was like, you know what? See, I can't even I don't have words. You said it all about that, Aaliyah.
This is why we say y'all need to stop marrying down. But these people don't want to listen. They don't want to hear. And I'm going to tell you somebody else. Nicki Minaj better hope that nigga she with like that, they stay together forever. Fantasia Barrino is another one. They keep putting themselves in this position. They don't listen.
They're so stupid. Add Lupita to that list. I will never understand it. I will never wrap my head around it. Like,
Lupita who?
I don't know no more than one Lupita. It's another Lupita around this bitch.
Y'all ain't see that thing she's with now?
Yeah, I
Lupita
saw it.
Nyong'o?
Yes, and she is going 50-50 on an expensive ass house with a nigga. Do you understand me? That's what I'm talking about. These motherfuckers are crazy as shit. And going back to Tia, y'all go over all the pictures available on Google Images. Every single time that nigga took a picture with Tia, he was frowning. He couldn't stand her ass. And let me tell you something. She's biracial. Okay? So just put that shit in perspective. He ain't there for it. He's not there for it, but he looked like he was angry, like, please get the camera out of my face. When she was on the Cooking Network and had that little series that they ended up canceling because of him, I might add, right? She made this big old luxurious meal. Hey, baby, try this, taste this. He was sitting there looking like he was being made to eat a bowl of vomit. And, she was making jokes and he just wouldn't smile. I don't think he's ever loved her. I don't think he's ever liked her. It's like he can't stand her. Kyra,
They're gonna learn. They're gonna learn.
Facts. Welcome to the panel, Kyra.
Good evening, DZ. Good evening, ladies. Can you hear me all right?
Yep.
Yeah.
A couple of things. So the thing is, we've talked about this, during history lessons in the Discord. Remember when slavery ended, the black women actually taught those grapes how to read and be educated. And what did they do with their education? Oh, they went to the Supreme Court to fight for the right to marry
Yes.
Becky.
Yeah.
That is the first court case a black male did when he was free, was to fight to not have to marry your ass.
I
But
think that was
okay.
Pace versus Alabama.
Oh my goodness. It gets embarrassing. Mammies, y'all not embarrassed yet? If you absolutely are not into other races of men, I'm just going to keep it real with you. You should probably be alone, because it's going to be a detriment if you sit up there and act like you have to have somebody and he has to be a black man. You're going to get fucked up in this game. I'm serious. Y'all go ahead.
You're gonna get You're gonna get left behind. And
Oh.
in terms of divesting, you need to do it early as you can. You can always course correct, but earlier the better.
Yes, I mean, DZ, I've told you, when we've talked one-on-one, my biggest wish are for the younger black women to be able to start divested from the jump when they hit adulthood, so they don't have to course correct.
As long as you got bitches on TikTok and all these different places, these type of bitches.
I will choose a black man.
I think Wendy
time.
Williams is a wonderful cautionary tale. She got that gun and that.
And he's gonna lead her by that nose ring and knock her out.
He is. Let's go again. Let's go again.
I will choose a black man every time. Every damn time.
Now,
and she will get her ass beat.
With everything that y'all seen up here, you got ignorant bitches like this leading younger women down. Why, ma'am? Why? And I guarantee you she's going to mention the white man, and she's going to mention some sort of kinship you have with your own people and tribe and all that shit. Meanwhile, you got all this other shit going on. Your statistics look disgusting, madam. It looks disgusting.
Isn't it interesting how we're supposed to see any random cicada on the street as our brother, our son, or something? Meanwhile, these same cicadas, they don't even see their own actual mothers as their mothers, or their own actual sisters as something worthy to protect.
Girl, they getting bailed out of jail. They getting bailed out of jail by their mama and then going home to kill their mama. Remember what you sent me earlier?
I remember.
Yeah.
That was an interesting thing you just said, because they're supposed to remind you of your brother, your father, your uncle, yet you're all supposed to want to sleep with them. So, I mean, I have a couple of questions from that. Because, like, so what?
We thought about that because when we were talking about that part of the conversation about how they, downplay your education, but at the same time, and your accomplishments, but at the same time, they want you to take care of them. That's what made me think about that Teal situation, because again, she was way more accomplished than he was. She picked his ass up from a bus stop.
Yep.
And this is now this is how he's about to repay her. And to be honest with you, she's not the only one. When these women marry down, situations like this are typical. You end up having to pay them. I don't care what the situation is. You out earn him. If you're gonna have, these men have they have wised up. They want you to keep them in the lifestyle that they have become accustomed to. So they are turning around suing your ass now. And I really need black women to get smarter than this, because we are the only group of women that perform way better than our men. The problem is not enough of us are willing to divest. That's why I agree with what Kyra is saying, but the likelihood of that happening is slim to none.
And I was gonna say, the girl in that video, she was kind of cute. Like, it's a shame.
Gorgeous.
You're gonna limit yourself like that to that. That's what you really gonna do that? Girl, she ain't gonna be cute for long. She gonna get them bags under her eyes. She gonna get some bunions, some early gray hairs, because they're gonna wear her ass the fuck out. Girl, you better come over here to the winning team, girl.
Well, when you see those kind of things, I think of a black man saying it. So instead of that pretty black woman, are you going to hear a black man say, "Oh, I pick a black woman every time"?
No.
Thank you.
Look, y'all.
He's going to be saying, "I pick Becky any time of the day."
They already said it though. They say it all the time.
Thank you.
Look, with black men, being religious is a bonus. Why? Why is it a bonus? Because there's a lot of misogynistic things in Abrahamic religions where you feel obligated so that you don't burn in hell for eternity to do all the things that have been mentioned so far on this list. Notice the Bible that a lot of people follow say, thou shalt not fornicate, right? Thou shalt not steal. Okay. Thou shalt not do adultery. Thou shalt not lie. They do all of those all the time. But the moment you don't make a plate, you're sinning. Okay. You're going for this shit. And you're also preaching that shit to other black women, and shame on you for that. I heard a bitch, she closed her video every time she closed her video. I'm a Proverbs 35 woman or 37 woman or whatever. And that whole proverb is about your motherfucking ass just being a fucking dog for this nigga. Go ahead. My bad.
No. I was just saying, isn't there also a whole, I don't know the Bible like that in the sense of being able to quote, but I know some of the things it says. Isn't there a whole part in there that says that a man that doesn't provide for a family is worse than an infidel? I'm pretty sure there's a whole verse.
That is a whole verse. Yes, ma'am.
That's a whole verse. Okay.
Yes.
I'm just checking.
I'm not religious, but they pick from the Bible. They discard the shit that might make some sense, and they pick out the shit that easily allow them to treat you like a slave, pretty much.
The thing, though, that ties into why they're anti-education. Notice a lot of those black churches, they don't really encourage, reading the Bible. You're supposed to just let the pastor say whatever he feels like and believe it.
Thank you
Bishop,
for telling me.
elder, pastor, whatever.
Thank you for letting me know which one it is. And you can tell I don't read that motherfucking shit. She says it's Proverbs 31 woman. Y'all, she closes out all her videos with that. And sometimes she'll say it in the middle of the video. And I've never read the proverb, but every time she talks about it, she refers to all her duties and how she's supposed to be and submissive she's supposed to be and how she's supposed to be his rock and all this shit here. Okay. Meanwhile, whenever he comes on camera, he does the same thing that Tia Husbands does and just look at her sideways. This shit is not funny, but it's funny at the same damn time. You sitting up in that church, I'm talking about jiggling like you having a seizure, falling all over the fucking floor. You can't even get this bitch. I can't even talk, y'all. Just screaming and foaming at the mouth, all sorts of shit. Okay, and those of you that don't have the Christian woman that go to some of these black churches that don't have anybody, you're making sure you pick that shirt that gets attention, right? Because it's cut a little bit too low for church, whatever. And you sit right up under these deacons and bishops and all that shit there. It's just a thirsty trap nonsense clusterfuck. That's what it is. But yeah, being religious is a bonus.
Don't forget though. Don't forget the holy whores, or as Mistress Rogue said, the sanctified sluts in the church. Well, we've already talked about them, but don't forget the ones that volunteer to clean and scrub that church every week for free, but their own houses are an actual pigsty.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that spend their own money to feed like the church congregation at a picnic or something, but their own kids are lucky to get a bologna sandwich. Those chicks.
Well, the ones I can't stand are the ones who sit back and make sure every little girl who comes through that shit, okay, is pretty much a goner. Okay. They basically hate the teenage girls who are blossoming into womanhood. Okay, because their time is past, right? All right. Anything that comes out female is no good and worthless. These are the women teaching the girls this shit.
Yes.
The women. The men don't have to say a goddamn word. It's the women who are keeping this mess up. It's the women who are basically whipping these girls into shape to be used and abused, to be a Psalm, Proverbs 31 woman. What the fuck? And so no. See, they couldn't have me. No.
Look,
whole damn church. I'd be like the Klan burning down these fucking churches. 1, 2, 3, boom.
I had an uncle, y'all, that used to, black men are disgusting. They are. He used to say, You can find the best pussy at church, and fucking pregnant pussy is also good too. Don't matter if it's your baby or not.
Whoa.
Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
I was in the
That
middle
is
of a
so
drink there. I wasn't
creepy.
ready.
That's a creepy
Well,
chat.
it's creepy and disgusting, but I mean, to be fair, your uncle was a nigger, so we're not surprised. But
Absolutely.
mammies, shouldn't you be so disgusted that you have a reputation of being holy whores? Literally, your black males say that about you. That the ones in church are the biggest sluts.
Kyra, they don't care. Remember now, they'll call in to shows with, cicadas bashing the fuck out of them and make them a superstar. So they don't give a fuck.
I'm telling you. What the fuck else is on this goddamn list?
I just want
Ladies.
to jump in here real quick on the religious thing. If you want to know what a married single mother looks like, just read Proverbs 31, because that's exactly what she is. A married single mother. She does everything that a single mother would do, and she and her husband, all this says is that he sits up with, he's part of the chiefs or some shit like that, and he just hangs around with his buddies all day, just sitting there while she does every single thing. And secondly, I just want to say something real quick about the submissiveness. I remember when I was in church, when I was younger, I'm no longer a Christian. This damn pastor actually had his nerve to get up there and say that the reason why God put woe in front of man for woman is because whenever the husband says woe, she's supposed to stop like a horse.
Damn.
Oh.
Yeah, I've heard some crazy shit like that growing up as well. Shit. I had another family member that said, you know why women have menstrual cycles? Because they're so fucking evil, they have to be bled out once a month. I'm telling you, this is what they think about you, and you sit up there arguing with other black women and recruiting black women to come into some nonsense like that. That community is pure fucking trash. Do you understand? And I'm telling you, I quit dealing with my family like that a long time ago. All of these little quotes I'm telling you, this happened before I turned 18 years old. This is how the fuck they're talking around your daughters, around your nieces and shit. It's all about what they can get from you. You only as good as what you can produce for a black man in the black community. And black women have bought that shit hook, line, and sinker, and it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Your hair is an issue. It's always been a fucking issue. Always. Okay? Let me tell y'all something. Black men don't have a problem with the way white men run this motherfucker, okay? They don't. They would have done something about it a long time ago. I know you believe in oppression. I know you believe that they're outnumbered. I know you believe all this shit, because don't get me started on Africa, but we ain't gonna go there. Black men always have shamed you for your hair. The first time I was ever called nappy-headed was by a nigga. The first time I ever seen someone else being called nappy-headed, it was by a nigga. Y'all laughed really, really hard at Martin Lawrence calling that girl Beady Bead. What is Beady Bead? It's naps, right? Then he dressing up like you, acting a goddamn fool. Your hair has always been a problem. And make no mistake about it. Whether it's natural, whether it's permed, whether you got an extension in, whether you cut it all off, there is going to be a group of niggas telling you how awful you look. It's because they can't do anything. They don't own and control anything. So therefore, to keep you in check, they have to insult you. Okay? But we got black women running around here. That whole natural hair movement on YouTube, literally, it came from niggas talking about you need to go natural. You could pretend like it didn't, because there have been several natural hair movements, but the most recent one was because niggas was online saying that they don't like bitches that got weave. Period. Why you putting that crack in your head? Why you look? It's to get you to chase your ass. That's what it's about. I know y'all got something on this shit.
I did not know that. So I'm learning so much about like how things from like the manosphere and all that crap have been influencing things that women have done, because like I honestly I thought the whole natural hair movement was just, oh, we're finally going to like our hair. Also, I didn't realize this until, of course, I learned. But it made me sad to understand that that they're doing it for these, I guess, cicadas. I'm gonna borrow that word, because like I just don't understand why it's always for them when it is never enough. And they shouldn't even want to begin with, but just like, how do you keep chasing this white rabbit that is never there? Like, I could even see if the rabbit existed. The rabbit doesn't even exist, and you're still chasing it.
I remember I went natural back in the 90s, early. And I had an uncle basically look at my husband and say, "You need to leave her," simply because I went natural. He's telling my white husband, "Yeah, you need to leave her." And my white husband was like, "Huh? You don't like her hair? I should leave her because of her hair? That's what you said?"
Look,
Yep.
and they try to tell black women, yo, the reason that white people like to touch your hair because they fetishizing you. And they, boy, let me tell you something. Don't nobody fetishize black hair like a nigga. No matter what style it's in, you can't stand the shit. Y'all have to think about it. These are okay, you have a black man, anything that's coming out of him as far as making babies, that's what it produces. It produces nappy hair. He doesn't like his own phenotype. Anything that his dick makes, he's going to hate that shit. He even starts hating his biracial children if she has too much goddamn like curly fucking hair. I'm telling you, it's disgusting. Too salty in the bag. Too salty. How you doing?
Hi, DZ. Hi, ladies. Thank you
Hey.
for having me. What you said about the natural hair movement is so true. And I just want to add, it was about, males of a certain demographic saying what they liked and what they didn't like. So you had Black women who had a certain hair type, meaning type 4, kinky, coily hair. It went from, hey, I really like my hair. And then you had the males saying, well, we don't like that kind of hair. Just something looser, curly, not so much coily, something fluffier. So then you had women with the kinkiest hair type now wanting to do looser textures.
Yep.
So it became, and the movement got taken over by, your preferences or those with the preferred hair. So now women with that kinkier hair, well, now they're relaxing their hair, relaxing their edges, putting in all these products to change it so that it fits what those males like.
Absolutely.
So those males can have all the BB balls in the world.
Oh yeah, connected up, beard,
yeah.
on the chest, yeah.
Yeah, just you can't have. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can I jump in a little?
Absolutely.
I just too also wanted to kind of bring it back to the original point where it's like no matter what you do with your hair is a problem because then also it's the issue with the weaves and the wigs. And I actually have seen mammies aiding and abetting these Tyrones on public platforms, shaming and berating Black women for wanting to do whatever they want to do with their hair. And it's like, we can do whatever the fuck we want to do with our hair, whether it's be natural, put some clip-ins, cut it off, a wig. Like, stop trying to meet the standard of these damn what and mammies because they're always gonna move the goalposts. And so yeah, that's
Do you remember DZ ladies? I know y'all remember when Gabby Douglas won the Olympics in 2012.
Yes.
So here's a Black girl being the first to win the Olympics all around, because Dominique Dawes, she got the gold by a team medal, not on her own. So Gabby Douglas is the first gymnast, Black woman to win. And what are mammies and nakers talking about? Her hair and some brown gel and stuff.
They did the same thing to Simone Biles, actually.
They sure did.
Wow.
They did Dominique Dawes that way as well. Damn. Wow.
I would also like to add in here too. They hate the natural hair on Black women, but they also do encourage Black women oftentimes to wear it because that also will enable them to wear the long dreadlocks and all that stuff in professional settings. If you see that it was only Black women out here fighting for laws like the Crown Act, and without Black women fighting for that, then the nakers would not be able to wear their crazy wild wick locks and shit in any type of job if they do have it. If they do, and
they were the ones who were supposed to be getting it for us. That's so sick. They're such girls. They're the babies.
We
That's
look
why
better
I say
anyway, though.
this is the most judgmental community ever. No matter what you do, no matter what you accomplish, you'll never be able to do anything right. You could be out representing the whole country, bringing home gold medals, and this is what your community thinks to talk about. The only thing your community thinks to talk about. That's how shallow and it's so crazy. And like I said, I really wanted to second what Snapple was saying about the wigs and the weaves. Same thing. I do both. My natural hair is natural, but I do wear wigs also, and I do that for a reason. I work out every single day. If I gotta turn around and go to work right after that, my hair may still be down. I'm going to twist my hair down and put a wig on top of it so I can get my ass to work on time. And it's funny how every other person that I deal with can understand that. But when it comes to Black people, they think that that shit is something to make fun of until they see my natural hair. Because remember, you only wear wigs because you're bald head or you don't have any edge.
Oh, yeah.
That's how stupid they are.
Mm-hmm. They
Let
get
me
real
dispel-
mad when you take that off. I'm sorry.
Let me dispel some shit real quick. Over those of you that are in the Black community still, they're over there teaching y'all that white men will fetishize your hair. They won't know what's going on and this, that, and the third. Well, you already know that Black men are doing worse with your hair. The first night, my then boyfriend, now husband, we spent the night together, and I put a silk scarf on my head, okay, because we was getting ready to go to sleep. He went to his drawer and got a t-shirt out and put it on his head, right? That's not asked him, what the fuck are you doing? He said, oh, I thought that's was something that we needed to do because you didn't. Why are you wearing that? Do you want me to cover my hair up too? I thought it was the cutest shit ever. Now, Black people tell you, oh, he should already know. He ain't no fucking Black woman, bitch. He's not. All you got to do is tell him. You're not going to know what to do with his hair with your Black ass. How about that part? Are you fetishizing? Okay. And Black men don't know how all the ins and outs of Black hair either. Just say you want to be with them niggas and just be with them. Because the excuses that you're making are trash. They're trash.
Preach, DZ. My boyfriend has helped me take my micros out twice. He has actually the second time, I told him, I was like, man, I got to take these out. He's like, okay, what day are we starting? I was like, he's like, well, I figure this is part of my life now. Every time you guys know you get braids, I know we got to take them out. I was like, oh, well, okay, let's pick a date. Like, he was ready.
I just hate how they try to say like the whole fetishize things. Like those cicadas, they call Black women chocolate and all kinds of food items in reference to their skin tone, and it's normal and it's acceptable and it's okay. But they have the audacity to sit there and say that somebody else is fetishizing. Like they need to shut the fuck up and never mention fetishizing again.
Exactly.
My white husband did not like permed hair at all. He did not like it permed. He just liked my hair. He says, I just like what grows out of your scalp. Is that okay? Sure.
Now,
whatever.
Ebony, somebody will say, he ain't got no business saying that to you. But let me tell you who says that shit the most. Why you wearing that perm? Why you trying to look like a white girl? You should just wear what grows out of your head. Now, it just depends on who it comes from, dealing with the Black community, whether it's malicious or not. You motherfuckers are a trip.
True.
You're a trip.
He loved my hair. He loved putting his hands in my hair because it was just my hair. So I think he was more proud of my hair than any of my relatives were.
That's affection for them, though. You know what I mean? Because mine does that too. And I asked him about it. He's like, he does it like it's for affection. Like that's them being affectionate. They just want to run their hands through your hair. Or they don't care what you do to your hair. They just want to run their hands through it.
Yes, they want to put their hands in your hair. Yeah.
Child, my husband always surprised motherfucking Black women when he knows what edge control is. Now, mind you, he's been with a Black woman since the 90s, so he knows what edge control is. He knows why motherfuckers got the satin pillows. He knows what scarves are for. He knows what a track is. He knows what edges are. And people be having their jaw on the ground when he know what the hell they talk about. Oh yeah, just put this on for your edges. It'll work. You need to see a dermatologist. Child, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. I digress. In slavery, you didn't have access to health care. You didn't have health insurance. The Nakers couldn't provide it. Whatever you got as far as health care went, it came from white folks. How is that different from today? How the fuck is that any different from today? they can't give you shit. A lot of them, the motherfuckers are uninsured until you stupid enough to marry them and put them on your shit. But you didn't have access to decent health care back then. And because of the financial situation of the majority of these niggas, you don't have it now. So how is it any different? Right? So instead of saying, hey, let me get the fuck about this community because this is more of the same, you sitting up there talking to white folks saying, y'all need to provide more health insurance. Y'all need to provide this. You need to provide that. Either way, it's going to be coming from outside of your community. And anybody that's not taking care of you don't deserve you like that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Look, I don't want to talk over nobody, but I'm sorry. This shit is.
I think what we have to understand too, because Black women complain so much about the healthcare system in this country, and it's like, I don't understand why people keep expecting these things to be fair. Ladies, your men built nothing for you. I don't know why they think that everybody else's system is supposed to be built to benefit them or accommodate them. It does not work that way. Your men, if they wanted you to have hospitals, I think it's more than enough millionaires around here, all this money going around. They could have bought some hospitals by now where they employed people who look strictly like you for you. They have not done that. So until they do, this is what you have to deal with. You're going to be going to these other hospitals that are not owned or operated by people who look like you. And that's just what it is. I mean, I just get tired of the complaining. Actually, your men built nothing. What about that do you not understand?
They don't care about the fetal maternal mortality. And maternal mortality. Black women are dying giving birth. There are no Black men out there marching for them, is there?
I mean, and they kill me talking about get a doula. And it's like, do y'all not see this? Is how you know they don't know what they're talking about. It's like, do y'all understand a doula is pretty much like a birthing coach? They're there for motivation, to hold your hand and to help you concentrate. They're not midwives. There's a big difference. Midwives.
So I wanted to, and also this was brought up before on this panel, but think of all the money that's been collected in these Black churches through tithes, and there's nothing to show for it all these years. Like, there's a Catholic medical system, there's a Presbyterian, there's a Methodist, etc., etc. Where's the AME medical system?
Hey,
Anywhere?
you better preach, goddammit.
You got that one.
And I was
you better preach. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Snap.
Okay.
I'm jiggling like
got the spirit.
Yeah, I'm jiggling like I got the Holy Ghost around this bitch. Arms in the air. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I'm not a medical professional or anything, but, the high levels of cortisol on a regular basis during pregnancy and them soul food diets, it might not always be slavery that's racism. It might not always be racism that's contributed to the matricide. I'm just saying.
You mean wacism, as they say?
Yeah,
wacism.
it might not always be the white man. It might be, the culture. For the culture,
I think most of it is the culture, to be honest. Because really, when Black women get pregnant, most of the time they're with the Dusty, right? Dusty's giving them a hard ass time, probably got more women on the down low or men, whatever. She is still working throughout her pregnancy, okay?
Yep.
And these are hard jobs that these women have. It's not like, you can take maternity leave and or you could go home and set up your computer or whatever and work for some software company. No, these Black women have jobs at Wendy's.
Yeah, okay? They're on their feet all day working, back
on their feet. They're Amazon, pregnant. And the Black men don't seem to care about that, do they? So basically it's not wasteism. I'm sorry. It's a lot of it is the food, the surroundings, and basically the psychological abuse that a lot of these mothers are going through.
Do you know what cortisol does to your body? The stress hormone that is cortisol.
I do very much.
That's what I'm saying. It's the cortisol. That cortisol will kill you. It will
that
straight
shitty
up
food
kill you.
And the shitty food.
And not to mention, as you talked about, Ebony, a lot of these Black women, they have jobs where they have to be on their feet for 8 to 12 hours. Like, I kid you not. a while ago, I went through the drive-through of Checkers, being a fat ass and getting some fries late at night. And it was a late at night stop too. And guess what? It was a pregnant Black girl.
Yes.
She had to be 8 months pregnant.
Yes.
And it was like 11 o'clock at night or something. So she's pregnant, pretty much maybe one other person working there, out there working late at night on a job on her feet.
When she needs to be at home asleep.
Whenever
Not to mention, it's dangerous. I mean, she is late at night, and she has to think about niggas coming in there robbing and stuff. So it's not even just the health aspect. It's just her out there is dangerous because there's zero protection. If somebody was supposed to go to bust in there, she could be hurt or possibly killed.
Yeah, y'all, and on top of that, with her being pregnant, there's a high chance, being from the Black community, that he will take her out. Okay, because y'all see them numbers. Okay, and I don't know, most dangerous time with you dealing with these niggas is when you get ready to leave and when you're pregnant and you working at Checkers on your fucking feet. I know them goddamn veins is varicosing because your blood increases by volume at least 30% when you're pregnant. So it's just a bad look. It's a horrible look. Speaking of food, God damn it, whenever you pulling out your oxtails and you pulling out your corn, your grits and all that shit, just because it's soul food don't mean it didn't come from white folks. Your men don't own any of these grocery stores, these farms. They don't. Okay, these canneries, all that shit there, you get that from white people. Okay, and here you are out here talking shit when these people are the ones that's fucking you up, but you're trying to make sure they're fed. You're feeding your monster. Okay, it is no different than what it was in slavery. You didn't get anything that white folks didn't give you. Therefore, it just depends on whether you was going to even be full or not as a slave. Now, it's the same thing now. They claim they have food shortages. They claim that they have food deserts. Y'all, I showed y'all a bunch of fucking film where a lot of these grocery stores are leaving certain communities because the crime is too fucking high. Now you got to get your ass on the bus, carry your groceries on the goddamn bus or the train or however you're going to get there. And if you a real G, I guess you get in Uber or, well, we could just have our food delivered. Absolutely. And that's going to be coming from white folks. Pull up. You're not going to be ordering food from niggas. They don't own anything. Hold on now. Let me make sure hold up. I got to put this up here, y'all, real quick so we don't see no dicks. You know how that go. No shit logs. Bubs, are you dusty?
No, I am not.
Okay.
Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about, I don't want to trigger any alarms, so I'm just going to say, the stallion. I wanted to talk about the situation with her because...
What situation with Megan Thee Stallion, girl? We got a whole goddamn different topic going on. What?
No, she because when she got shot.
Oh, that was the other night, babe. That was the other night. She's still over there mammying. We get it. What you got on tonight's topic, Bubs?
I would say the whole like pregnancy thing. When they do that, a lot of times if they don't, they'll still be shamed by the community and they'll still be like, it just really reminds me of the movie Precious. You'll still be encouraged to go and get government assistance. You'll still be encouraged to go and be basically just accept your fate, sit down, accept your fate. You did it and whatever. And because of that, there's no standards and they have a sense of pride in, yeah, I raised my baby. I did it by myself. Yeah, I ain't need no help. And
I
then,
appreciate you coming up, Bubs. I really do. And I appreciate the fact that you're subbed and all that good shit. And yes, you have a point. They are very hypocritical and they're going to stay in that situation that you described. They ain't going nowhere. A very small amount of Black women will divest, but I'm okay with that because I know how fucked up Black women are when it comes to Black men. So thank you for coming up. I appreciate you. I survived Nicaragua. Are you dusty?
Hell no. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can I add something about the hair discussion?
Absolutely.
Okay, because I was really excited about that. Now, I was a few years ago back, Tariq posted a video on his Instagram about a black woman who was married to a white man revealing her natural hair to her white husband for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And you look in the comments, and of course, it's Nakers saturating the comment section. All I'm seeing are, oh, he's gonna leave her now. He
You went out.
By the way, no names up here. Use a nickname, lip gloss or something.
You went out. I survived Nicaragua. Type in the chat and let us know you okay. All right.
Yeah.
It was like she got kidnapped or something. Yeah.
Someone took her. Like that's what it sounded like. Yes.
I thought my mic was doing something or my headphones. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Some ladies in the chat would like either you, DZ, Aaliyah, or Ebony, the medical people, explain the difference between a doula and a midwife for them, they asked.
Well,
I can do it short and sweet. Yeah, go ahead, because I was going to do it real Blackistani and tell you.
You can do
girl, a doula is a hoteptress that's just looking at your coochie and telling you, push, 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 go, go, go. A midwife knows how to deliver babies. That's literally all it is. You sitting there in a whole bunch of pain with your doula and looking at this stupid bitch with her ankh on, or however the fuck you pronounce that shit, and she telling you squeeze, push, that type of shit. She don't know nothing. She just black, and y'all fighting the system while you pushing out this motherfucking nigga's bastard. Go ahead.
I wouldn't have quite put it that way, but okay. Yeah.
So
she might have you standing in a tub of water too if you're not careful. I'm just want to put that out there.
It's a hot ass mess. I done seen some of them videos, and it's
y'all. Did y'all see Summer Walker with what's her name? Who was the doula? That y'all know who I'm talking about. Was it Erykah Badu? Them videos looked real musty of that situation when she was being her doula.
Erykah Badu being a doula, I find that so ironic. Okay.
I was like, ew, why it look like that in there? Turn the lights on. It looked so dark and musty. I was like, oh my God, what? Y'all supposed to be celebrities. Why it look like this?
But that's the difference. The Black community really doesn't know the difference, because I see these conversations all the time online, and people are swearing that they're doulas, and it's like, okay, why are y'all telling people to get doulas? Doulas don't deliver babies. But you'll have people on here lying to them, but that's what they do, and it's like, no, ma'am.
Yeah, they
so
just there
that's why
for, they're just there for support. They lighting incense and telling you, I just started my vegan diet the other day because us black folk, we not supposed to eat meat and all this stupid shit while you sitting up there screaming in pain. Ain't nobody taking your vital signs, your blood pressure. Ain't nobody got a sonogram machine, nothing. You don't know if the baby breathes. You don't know what the heart rate of the child. And she's sitting there talking about push. And sometimes the nigga is there and sometimes he ain't shit. She can't push, God damn it.
If y'all don't take y'all asses to the hospital and stop playing.
Exactly. That's why it's so dangerous even for the midwife, because if something goes wrong, there is nothing there to help her fix that. She's going to end up having to call the ambulance anyway to get you to the nearest emergency room before you bleed to death. So you may
and don't midwives, they have to have like actual training.
Yes.
And the doulas don't do anything. They don't get any type of certifications or trainings or anything like that. But I know midwives have to.
Doulas got some shea butter, some incense, a head wrap, and a fist to tell you, go girl. That's pretty much what it is. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. All right. Oh yeah. Look around you. Yes, ma'am.
I'm so sorry, ma'am. I just wanted to make a quick comment about the food thing you just touched on. At least in the area that I'm at, we are starting to actually see a rise. It's kind of connected because it's happening in these grocery stores. We're starting to see a rise in pickpockets. where people are taking money, or I should say, like, wild stuff out of women's purses, and who feel like they can just leave them in the grocery cart, and then going to big stores. So say like Sam's Clubs and things of that nature, like the big stores, and trying to drop like thousands of dollars of food out of these places. So and I live in an area that's I would say it's up. Yeah, it's a rich area, and you got to go through a couple of toll roads to get in. So it's getting bad. It's getting it. I didn't think it was going to get. I knew it was going to get bad. I didn't expect that level of bad, but yeah, it's getting wilder.
Thanks for that. Everybody, take a look around you right now and the structure that you're in, and think about the land that it's on. If it's not owned or built by Black men, darling, you're gonna have to move a little bit more strategically. Your niggas don't own that shit. When it was being built, it was built by other men. The land is owned by other men. Usually who's holding your lease is somebody that's non-Black. When I'm saying all of this because it was like that in slavery, it's like that now. You look really silly. Somebody needs to tell you this. You look really silly with you being indignant, cussing everybody the fuck out, telling people what the fuck they need to do, telling you the one telling everybody what's right, what's wrong, or whatever. And if the nigga that you fucking was told right now, hey, get together a team and build a house, motherfucker, you better not go up under that structure because they don't know what the fuck they're doing, right? You don't want to admit this shit, but you need people outside of the Black community for everything, ma'am. I would be. Let me look at these comments real quick because I want to know, and send the pictures to my inbox or the receipts or whatever. If you are in a structure right now that all the supplies, all the lumber, all the bullshit that it took, the insulation, the land, all that. If the structure that you're in right now, Black men did that, I'll wait. You in a real precarious situation. You're not gonna let nobody come into your house and you on the lease and you paying the rent there, and she comes in and say, oh, I hate this furniture. Oh, you should get an alarm system and put this over here. Oh, that picture on your wall is trash. That's what you look like when you in other folks shit telling them what they should be doing, and your men ain't doing nothing for you. I would abandon that community if I were you. Okay, your situation has not changed since the Emancipation Proclamation, bitch. It's a bad look, and nobody wants to tell you because they don't feel like arguing with your dumb ass. They really don't. You don't get anything from niggas, yet you pushing Black love on other women. Girl, the jewelry that you fixing to get, if you do get engaged, that's coming from somebody else as well. Everything. Half the time the fucking dress coming from I'm being real conservative right there and just saying half. Your dress came from somebody else, right? Y'all already know that these niggas don't have shit, and you still doing the same shit over and over and fighting for them. It's a horrible look. People are laughing behind your back. And if you don't give a fuck, oh well, you just gonna stay in the same spot you've been in for centuries. It is what it is. Kyra, I see you came back up, boo.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Well, what can I say? Well, you did show us that video of that bridge that Africans built that collapsed as soon as someone tried to walk across it. And you're forgetting, with all of that literal shit in Lagos, they could use the material to build some huts, but they're too lazy for that. So
I wouldn't trust a hut that they build. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. Everything that they do, it crumbles. Look, we into our 13th year with the homeboy that was supposed to be building the school for Black boys. We're in our we in our 13th year, bitch, and he don't even have an online school around this motherfucker. Y'all are crazy.
Wait a minute, it's only been 13 years? That seems, oh my gosh.
I be trying to be conservative.
Going on forever.
Look, I'm trying to be conservative with it because if you overdo it, she lying. She that's not true. It ain't been 30 years since homeboy started trying to build a school. I'm sure there has been enough money donated to where he can at least have an online school, and bitches just ain't. Look,
Quick question. Which school? Because I've heard of two, one proposed, and then one that might be online right now. I'm just curious, is that one also still, are we still waiting on that one too? The oh God, I can't even figure out how to say it without saying it.
because you know this shit ridiculous. You know it's ridiculous.
Now, if we're talking about, I'm not going to say his name up here, but the Hotep who's been collecting money for 11 years to build a school for black boys to save black boys, that one.
Okay.
Yeah, the online one that's advertised by, someone else on YouTube.
Yes.
That one's co-ed, correct?
Oh,
and the one that's supposed to be a physical building is supposed to be a school for boys.
Could y'all imagine how demented that school, if it ever did come to fruition, would be? Like, oh my goodness, the debauchery.
He's gonna fuck everybody in the building. He gonna walk in that bitch on hard. Okay.
I just think it's funny that somebody who has collected millions for this raggedy school he's talking about he's going to be teaching your children how to be men and all this other stuff. He loves children so much, yet he can't even take care of his own while he's in fucking arrears and child support with his fat funky ass.
Yeah, he is in arrear on child.
you just damn. I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh shit, he is fat and funky though. Let me keep going because we would stay on that nasty built bastard all night.
But Deezy, washing their ass is gay to them, so they all funky. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Y'all keep it real. Are we keeping it real tonight or no? Let's keep it real. The majority of black people that don't have dental insurance. Now, if you think that's a lie and you got something to the contrary, pull the fuck up. Walk through the black community and some of these niggas' mouths look like keyboard strokes, bitch. It looks terrible.
But
dental, go ahead.
But some jails, some prison systems, they actually give prisoners dental care. So if you see a black male out and his teeth look good, he might have just got out of jail. You might want to watch that, Cloud Watchers. Just saying.
Okay, they wasn't taking care of slave teeth, right? And these niggas ain't taking care of your teeth today. But you're sitting up here talking about other motherfuckers. I see your pictures on Facebook and Instagram where coincidentally everybody in that motherfucker smiling and you smiling with your lips together. Everybody smiling big, but your lips are together. Okay, this is how they get down. Still sitting up there yanking out your kids' teeth and all types of shit instead of letting it fall the fuck out. This is the black community. Do you understand? You remember what you was fixing to say, Aaliyah, because your ass was hollering.
I forgot. I promise I did. I didn't think Shane was going to talk about that man like that, but
yeah. I always thought I never understood the whole grills thing, and then at one point I used to think that when people had those gold or silver teeth that they would put whatever that, you know what I'm talking about, not the cap, not the little thing they put when they take a what do you call when they take the cavity out, but when they had a whole tooth in there, I used to think those were grills. Or have you ever seen people whose the tooth has a lining of silver around the whole perimeter of I always thought why did anybody do that to them? And then I realized, oh, that's because your teeth are bad. I did not know.
When they take them little kids to get those silver fucking thing, it come from them, putting fruit punch and all kind of shit in the bottles. I've seen little black kids with them silver teeth all over the motherfucking place. And make no mistake about it, that was paid for by Medicaid because Medicaid covers a little bit of dental. But like I said, if we keeping it real, the majority of black folks, don't have dental insurance. I'm gonna go ahead and give you a gift here. If you mammying and your motherfucking ass is smiling with your motherfucking teeth together, go to dentalplans.com. You're welcome. They have real dental plans on there. You might need to get some of that, especially if y'all gonna be sitting up here still drinking all that goddamn Mountain Dew and Sprite. But look, I ain't here to preach. Like I said, back in slavery, no goddamn dental care. Today, no goddamn dental care. And who was supposed to provide that? I think you know the answer to that shit. Let's go. They didn't prefer you then, and they don't prefer you now. The picture on the left is of the black man getting with a white woman, marrying her, and that was in the 1700s in the UK. Let me tell you something. It doesn't matter about racism. It doesn't matter about any of that shit. I'm sorry, but you're not going to be preferred by these niggas. And you've been given a gift. They told you they don't prefer you. They told you. So back then, they're finding ways to get away from you. Kyra just mentioned up here the first court case that ever went down with a nigga filing a case. It was so that he didn't have to shack up with you or give you anything or bill you anything. Let them go. Let them go.
Wait, Dee, you said, okay, Kyra's though, so that's post-slavery. You're telling me this one? Now you bring up some receipts.
Happened. No, ma'am. That was happening during American slavery. Boo.
Well, shit.
Okay.
Damn.
I told you at the beginning of this broadcast, we said that they didn't give a fuck about slavery, and I mean that shit. I know some of that shit sounds hyperbolic, but it's true. They didn't care about no motherfucking slavery. They just didn't like who was in charge at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Snapple.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I just, it's the fact that the community and Black women who happen to be mammies allow them to get away with this hypocrisy for me. Like, it's right in your motherfucking face. They're telling you that the hypocrisy is right in your face. Their preference is the white man's daughter, but you can't go be with the white man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, I don't know.
They feelings aren't hurt about the atrocities. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, the thing though is, we've set it up here before that Black males like going to jail because they get 3 hots in a cot. Well, what makes you think that they objected to slavery? They got 3 hots in a cot back then, didn't they?
Oh, girl. Oh my God. Oh my God. I feel like that's like, oh my God.
I mean, but think about it logically. They got 3 hots in a cot back then, and slavery went on as long as it did because they liked it. We talked about how they get so turned on when they hear the clink of those handcuffs. You mean to tell me that back then they didn't get turned on when they heard the crack of that whip by Massa? You know it. You know it. Just like we see with these sex games now with them.
Mm-hmm. We've said that they've always wanted. I mean, yes, they get with the women, but they've always wanted the white men. Like that's the goal. You know what I mean? It's like if Becky's a stepping stone, her dad's the goal, basically.
I just wish Black women would pay them like dust. I wish they would just stop like giving them so much clout and attention and credence. Like, this degenerate ass group of men, they're just so discombobulated. Nothing makes sense and there's no consistency. Like, I just wish everybody would just ignore them.
Aaliyah, you had came off
just talking about I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I had my hair dry on. But I was just talking about the movies. They made the whole they had made a whole movie about being nothing but buck broken by white men. So are you saying that was a possibility that they enjoyed that a little too much, Kyra?
I think so. Remember that same lip gloss motherfucker? He said that Black women back then consented to those relationships with the white male slave owner, but somehow all the Black males, they were not willing participants. I would flip that on its head. I would say there were a lot more Black males willingly participating in sleeping with the white plantation owner than there were Black women in that situation.
Y'all remember those sex workers?
I was just about to say that.
You remember those white sex workers would say, you know, that they love doing race play. The Black men love race play. It's just they don't have a problem with you being subjugated. They just don't want to be subjugated. Like that they want to be able to have power, you know, and autonomy and all that shit. But when the lights go low and they start taking off them clothes, they love that bullshit. They request it a lot. Y'all got to look it up. They love that shit. Remember a couple of months ago, they were just upset at the white girl for walking homeboy into their wedding reception on a leash. Y'all remember that?
I remember that. I remember that. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So
And
they
that,
don't have a problem with that shit.
I
that
think the thing though with them is this is my opinion. I think they like their position now. They like being treated like a child. They like everything being handed to them. But at the same time, they expect everyone else to pretend like they're full-fledged adults, let alone full-fledged men. That's what they want.
Talking about a long time ago, y'all remember at some of those paintings of the Moors and all that shit, when they went over to Europe, they were having black women bathe white women in preparation for sex. Look at that art. The black women were washing them up. And today, the hoteptresses and shit, we taught them how to bathe. Tell the whole story. Tell the whole story. Why were you cleaning those women up? So that they can go in there and be with your Mansa Musas and all of them. They've never wanted you, black women. And if you love yourself in any amount, you wouldn't deal with them at all. Real shit.
Can we say Black Panthers, anybody?
Oops.
Mm.
Oops.
While they were sitting up there making the black women watch the door while they're in there screwing Becky, you know. And I'm just like, okay, so then what would you do if the white man did come in there? Again, putting the black woman in danger, because if they decide to just raid the place and run up in there, the first person that's going to get shot is the black woman, and she's going to get shot because she's sitting up there, you know, looking out for your ass while you in there fucking Becky.
Can we add Elijah Muhammad to that too?
Yeah, I love being blasphemous. Go ahead, girl.
Yes, Elijah Muhammad, you know, founder of the Nation of Islam. Coincidentally, he kept touching underage, very, very light-skinned girls.
That's the part they never want to talk about, and you left out the honorable part. He was supposed to be the honorable.
Excuse me, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yeah, but see, they never want to talk about that part though. When they talk about that other shit, they rarely bring that up.
Yeah, Martin Luther King and all them motherfuckers. Y'all got to go. Black women, you got to go. You don't have a choice. It's your demise if you don't leave. You don't think you deserve no better? All of them during slavery, Jim Crow, and even before antebellum slavery and transatlantic slave trade even happened, they were making way to go get rid of you. Now they keep you as a servant. They still doing that shit today. They'll keep you as a servant and something to do and something to fuck and something to take care of them. But when it's time to get serious, you're not even in the equation, boo.
You're a toy, darling. You are something they can do whatever they want to. You are the equivalent of that song, Build a Bitch. Like, that's what you are. Like, you are just something for them to, wear a wig. Don't wear a wig. I like green nail polish. I like blue nail polish. I don't put eyelashes on, put eyelashes on. He literally will build you and make you modify to whatever it is he wants that day or that hour. You lay down, you get up. He tells you he doesn't like that, and he makes you change all over again. You have turned into his actual Barbie. They are literally treating you like grown men with baby dolls. They are literally, yep. Yep.
I don't see how they go for it. I really don't. It couldn't be me. Go off. All right. Huh? I'm sorry. What? Look at some of your documentaries. White men were not the only ones R-wording black women back in them days. Make no mistake about that shit. Black men were doing it as well. Okay? They're beating the shit out of y'all 3 times the rate of any other race of woman. And you sitting up here bailing them out, dropping the charges, and recruiting. How fucking dare you do something like this? Okay, y'all remember, if y'all don't know what that is on the right, that's a chick that got her ass whooped by her NFL boyfriend and husband now, because she married him after he knocked her the fuck out in that elevator. That's her face now. His name, what was that nigga's name? Ray Rice. That's what his name. I forget the girl's name, but she came on, TV and said that was the only time he did that. He said he was really sorry and all that shit there. They've been beating the brake pads off y'all ass for the longest. Don't make me think that you like that shit. Don't do that. Because anytime black women, you don't like some shit, you make the shit stop. You didn't like them having high bails, you made it stop. You didn't like police brutality, you made it stop. You didn't like job inequality and all of that shit there, you made it stop. So why on earth are you still here for this shit? The world wants to know. I want to know. The fuck? It's on you, Snapple.
Yeah, that image is very triggering to see that lady laying down on the floor like that. I remember when that happened vaguely, but this group of men are such opportunists. Even in 2020, when they were rioting for St. Fentanyl and they were tearing shit up, supposedly supposed to be marching for justice, they were taking that opportunity to R-word with black women that were out there and harm them and even unaliving the young lady Toyin. So it's like it's DV when it's like in relationships, but then it's also just they just see you and they feel ownership even of random black women in the height of a chaotic situation. They will take that opportunity to be violent with you, and it's just ridiculous. And yeah, they're just animals. It's just disgusting.
You got random black men just punching strange women in the face. Like he didn't even know the lady. I remember that story. That wasn't that long ago. Homeless guy just walk up and punch this lady right in her face. They're smearing shit on people sitting at bus stops. They're slapping people getting off buses. They're spitting on folks. Anything degenerate and disgusting that they could think of. It's not just them putting their hands on you. They're throwing their bodily fluids on you and all kind of shit. Anything they could think of to degrade you or assault you in any way, that's what they're doing now.
And don't forget what happened in the Superdome during Hurricane Katrina. Yes, your kings were R-wording women and little girls.
Yes, Jesus Christ.
They said that place smelled horrible, like death warmed over. The toilets were clogged and ran over, and people were just, oh my God. So they don't have the boats and the helicopters and all that shit to rescue you, but they made time to R-word you in that Superdome. You need to think about that shit. That it's disgusting. They're degenerate.
You're not their preference until they're ready to harm somebody. When they're ready to harm somebody, you're the preference. You're the go-to. Then they want to do that to a black woman. They're more comfortable. They might take a pause with other women. I mean, they do harm other women, but when they see you, they're gonna fuck you up. Yeah, that's when you can get chosen by them.
That's a fact. Do y'all see how many similarities between slavery and today that exist? It's a lot of them. It's because your situation ain't changed and it's not going to change. Okay? We're talking about, there was some slaves on the plantation who were male. Their genes were deemed good, so they were designated as the buck because they made strong babies. You have these men doing the same thing today. Black women are fine. Some nigga fine. Okay. He tall, he this, he that, and she likes him. And the next woman likes him. And the next woman likes him. And he's making babies with all of them. How dare y'all give these niggas babies? How on earth, even outside, it wasn't enough that you guys was doing the shit. So they did it outside the community as well. Nick Cannon, anybody? I mean, come on. Y'all are fucking athletes left, right, and center. The woman that just gave Nick Cannon a black baby, I don't know what's going on in her fucking head, but these women, it's almost like it's a rite of passage to be able to say that you have a child with a black man. That would be a nightmare up out of this world. If I can't even put it into words, honestly. What is the big goddamn deal?
That shit that Nick Cannon is pulling it's getting weirder and weirder to me at this point. It's making me wonder, like, why are you just breeding all of these children on purpose like this? It's something wrong there. We may not see it right now, but I'm trying to figure out, like, what does he have going on? Is it something with his DNA or something? Because I'm like, why are you doing this on purpose? It's got to be a reason. You can't tell me. It's like, and these kids are coming back to back to back. So he literally smashing all these women right behind each other because these kids are not that old. And it's like, what
Right.
the hell are you doing? They having you breeding kids like roaches? What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, geriatric ass Diddy also just had a baby, and
He
then you
sure
still
did.
got young, supple, beautiful young Miami chasing him around like a fucking idiot. Like, girl, why you chasing this old ass fucker around and he popping out babies left her? I will never understand. I guess she gonna be pregnant next. I don't get it. I will never get
Look,
it.
D
man,
is
at
for
least the
Dusty. Are you Dusty?
No, ma'am, I am not Dusty.
Okay, what you got on the topic, ma'am?
I just wanted to say really quickly, I love your channel. I love all of you.
You put yourself on mute.
Oh,
So
I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
yes.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to say really quickly before I get to the topic, because I just kind of joined in. I'm at the point where I am like fully divested, not just from the men, but the women, the mindset. And I just wanted to just thank you all for providing this space for women like myself and other women. I've learned that you can't save everybody, but I'm gonna drop down because I want to listen some more before I respond. But thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for being here.
You know, DZ,
Okay.
you said a minute ago that the whole breeding thing, they did that because the quote unquote buck or whatever you want to call it, because I'm sorry, if you're getting broken, you ain't a buck, but okay. So, you know, they were chosen because at least they were producing strong babies, aka strong workers, right?
Yes.
They expect that. That's not the trend anymore. They're not even creating viable offspring.
Have you
Like,
noticed, Nefertiti? I've been noticing this over the past decade. Those nakers, they're getting more frail. They're also
yes.
getting more violent at the same time. It's rare
Yes.
to see one over 6'2" anymore. They've been living in their femininity for so long that they turn it into women around this bitch. They're useless.
Must be all the
Useless.
sickle cell.
That no, she's not. No, that's real talk. Because we talked about this, I think, on another live and also in the Discord. The whole inbreeding. I mean, it is what I mean. It may be you may not want to hear that, the ladies and beings of Blackistan who are listening in, but if you are going around having all these children, the families are not talking to each other. And then those children, these half brothers, half sisters, and cousins start getting together and having more children. By definition, that is what they call inbreeding. You are creating inbred communities. That, I mean, if you don't like, you can not like science. That's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't understand what they're not getting about that. It's not good for one person to have 12, 15, and 20 children. Like it's just not. And then you got multiple men running around here doing that, and it's like, and then what about the ones that are brothers or cousins that are doing it? So it's like one man might have 6 or 7 kids over here. This man may have 10 kids over here. This man got 15 kids over here. I mean, it's like, and all of them are related and they don't even know each other.
Well, Aaliyah, you made a mistake. You're talking as though you expect black males to be accountable for their actions and to also think about the consequences of their actions. And we know that they can't do that. We know that they can't do that.
Oh, good point. Good point.
I mean,
You even have some of them having children by the same women, Jermaine and Randy Jackson.
Yeah, that's true. KLSB. Just making sure that's your account and that you're not Dusty.
I'm not Dusty. Hello, panel. Hi, chat. Hi, ladies. I'm hanging in there. How are you?
I'm fucking amazing.
I know that's right. 2023, let's go. I just wanted to comment shortly on somebody saying you guys were talking about like why they were having more offspring, with these women. And at some point when I was growing up, or the early 2000s, they were saying that, they wanted to have, mixed race babies, and the men were causing that divide, and the white women at that time were happy to be with the black man. So they were, creating all this offspring and stuff. And I'm not sure if that's true today, but that's how it was for me, maybe like 10, 12 years ago.
Okay. You, towards the end of your sentences, you trailing out a little bit.
Oh yeah, I know I got mic issues, but yeah, that's all.
It's all good.
Love you guys. Thanks.
Love you too.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Y'all, did y'all see on New Year's Eve how Andy Cohen asked Nick Cannon, Mr. Demented Jizz, he asked him, like, what's your plan? Like, what are you doing? Like, and then he asked him, like, are you going to get a vasectomy? And this motherfucker had the nerve to say, my body, my choice. Like, girl, we can't have shit. We can't have shit. Everything we get, they try to say. They try to get soft life. Now these motherfuckers talk about my body, my choice.
See, but black women giving them that shit too. They posted something in Discord where this lady was talking about she wanted to give her man the soft life. They don't need to be working all the damn time, and you need to do something nice for him, and all this other shit. So black women be adding to that bullshit.
You got to remember, Nick Cannon is very immature. He actually carries himself like a overgrown teenager. He acts like a child to me every time I see him. He literally thinks this is funny when it's not. I don't know what it is about him, but he's very childish, which doesn't surprise me because the majority, well, all black men are, let's just be real. When you're dealing with them, you're dealing with a child. I've already said it. But he literally thinks that this is funny what he's doing for him to keep on doing it. And it's nothing funny about it. Like Andy was asking him, what's the end game? Because usually men of means are not that, well, let me say white men anyway, are not that reckless with their sperm. They understand legacy. They understand if anything happens to Nick tomorrow, he's not married to any of those women. So you're literally going to have all these women, all these children fighting over what's left of your estate. And really, with the more kids you have, how far does he think that money is going? When all those women start fighting over that money, because he's not married to anybody. He's already said he's not getting remarried after Mariah. So he's just creating all these broken homes and these broken families. So if something happens to you tomorrow, even with the will set in place, again, people seem to forget that things like that could be challenged. So I don't think he's thinking that far ahead to where you're creating this big clusterfuck for all of your children.
Michelle Farrell, are you Dusty?
No, ma'am, I am not.
Okay, what you got?
I'm in your Discord, so I'm under another name. But yeah, I'm just reiterating what Aaliyah just said. And the thing is that, this piggishness, and they think they're spreading their black seed and all this kind of garbage and whatnot. They're just making fools of themselves, and really, I don't care. They're just
we don't look. We don't give a fuck either, Michelle. The thing is, I care more about there being accumulation of like debris behind my bookshelf in my house. I care more that the taco shells tonight are crispy because I like them when they're real fucking crispy. I care more to make sure that there's no ant piles in my backyard so I don't inadvertently step in one. When I tell you I don't give a fuck about what's going on in that community, all I give a fuck about is getting black women away from them motherfuckers. You wouldn't listen. I can watch them. Oh, can I say that here? I can watch them dismember one of them niggas, and I will sit there and drink my tea. So make no mistake about it. Nobody gives a fuck about what's going on with these niggas.
Exactly. I mean, I have no sympathy at all whatsoever. And the thing is that, anything they go into and touch, they just destroy. And then just make me just sick. I can sit here and cuss, but we'll wait till we get over to the Discord. But the thing is that, I don't give a damn about them. Let them make an ass of themselves, because the real men, true men, they're waiting for a movement, and they will take care of things.
Yeah, I can attest to that. There is a there's a few white men in my real life and some online, and ladies, they see it. They see it. And by the way, a lot of them are interested. So don't let that community tell you you can't, there's nowhere else for you to go. That's a goddamn lie from the pit of hell. They see
That's
it.
right.
They just cannot get involved because you know how black women get when they think white folks in their business, even though all they shit come from white folks. Get out my business. Girl, please. The government got your goddamn social security number, your credit score, your medical history, and all that shit. Ain't nobody in your business. It's just some social commentary, you weird bitch.
Yeah,
But hey,
let's see if they tell a social worker at DSS to get to stay out their business.
right.
Shit. Look, DZ, I heard some white guy say that too. They're just waiting for black women to step to the side, ladies. They're just waiting for you to step to the side.
Yeah, because they're not
Yeah.
gonna get involved. Too many times black people be like, you white, you need to mind your own business. This is black business, this is, But if you step up out of there, oh, he there. He right there. Man, oh, I ain't gonna go there. I'll save that for later.
Yeah, we'll save that for later in Discord. So I'll step down now and I'll go back into the comments. So thank you, ladies, and everybody in the chat very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
But there's so much propaganda pushed and there's so many lies pushed on like younger black women about the community and these kangs. So even though we don't give a damn, it is still necessary to put out this content and talk on these topics because, hopefully some black women will come across it, as I'm sure they have, as a lot of us have, and it will help us and them see the light.
Absolutely.
I have a question about that, though.
What's up?
How much content do you need to be convinced to get the fuck on? I'm sorry, ladies, I don't get it. I've been divested pretty much all my life, right? And back in my day, we didn't have all these platforms. We didn't have anybody talking to us. We just had the same old stupid shit that everybody else was spouting. So how much content, how many times?
So here's the deal, Ebony. Okay, so say for instance, this was our last live, 2023, January, our last live. Everybody stopped making content. What is the 15-year-old girl that's 1 year old right now? She's not going to believe that the shit is still happening. She's going to think that's old news. Oh, wow, they were really fucked up in 2023. So if you give them a steady dose, the ones that get it, they'll get it. The ones that don't, they're going to be consumed by Blackistan. That's really all it is.
Oh, God. No. Okay.
Consider this seed planting, Ebony. We're planting seeds for them to germinate, hopefully in as many black women as possible. But, we're just putting the seeds out there. It's up to them to let it germinate.
Child, I swear.
I know that, but you have a tsunami of Blackistan out there. I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer, but how do we tiptoe around that tsunami to get the information? It's like trying to give someone an inoculation that they need.
See,
they don't even know that they need.
Though. We're not going to give them the inoculation. We're putting the flyers out there about the inoculation so that they can come and ask for it.
Yeah.
This is the emergency room, thank you. This is the emergency room, not the ambulance. They have to come to the emergency room if they want professional assistance. We are not riding in an ambulance going to go pick people up at the crime or the scene of where the issue is. I think it's kind of like, that's how I've looked at this. It's like, if you want,
I refuse to go to pull a black woman out of Blackistan kicking and screaming. She ain't gonna do nothing but bring that bullshit to you. She's gonna bring that bullshit wherever you are. So if she's there, let her stay. The information's out there. You can't avoid it. Literally, if you made a new YouTube account today, by the end of the year, you're going to come across something that, alludes to divestment. And if they think it's some bullshit and they think there's a fine ass nigga somewhere that's going to take care of them, get them babies, rub their back and all this shit here, go for it, boom. I'd love to see it with your weird ass.
And for those who are religious, remember, God respects free will. Therefore, we do as well. So we're not going to force anyone to come to divestment. We're not going to drag anyone by their hair, kicking and screaming. You have to come willingly.
Yeah, this is an infomercial. It is not a fucking sales pitch. Pull up. Speaking of seeing you guys, I want to show y'all this video real quick. Everybody's getting sick of y'all. And when I say y'all, I'm talking about Blackistan, okay? These are your sons, okay? Nobody wants you and your bonnet to come over now because now you're afraid of your sons killing you, stabbing you, robbing up the motherfucking place. Y'all laugh when you see it. Here.
Good evening, I'm Kai Jackson.
And I'm Mary Bubala. Crime and violence has a tight grip on Baltimore, and tonight residents say they need change now.
What we're going through in Baltimore right now is torture.
You can't even leave out your door in the morning time and guarantee that you're going to make it back home to your family.
Our children is dying. Sir, what you doing about it? Y'all sitting in the office doing about it.
I'm leaving. I'm not willing to sacrifice the life of one of my children for Baltimore City.
And I bet her children just as fucked up. You understand me? Ain't no way you standing there like that and your sons and whoever else is some righteous ass motherfuckers. The people that she's scared of came out of her sister's pussy, right? I want to take you back a couple seconds. Seriously, because I don't think y'all heard this other woman. Let's go.
I'm Mary Bubala. Crime and violence has a tight grip on Baltimore, and tonight residents say they need change now.
What we're going through in Baltimore right now is torture.
You can't even leave out your door in the morning time and guarantee that you're going to make it back home to your family.
Our children is dying.
She said, we can't even leave out the door and guarantee that we're going to make it home to our family. I got a question. You're not making it home because of white men? I'll wait. Who are you actually afraid of? I'll wait. Huh? Okay. Stop birthing them.
Dying. Sir, what you doing about it? Y'all sitting in the office doing about it.
I'm leaving. I'm not willing to sacrifice the life of one of my children for Baltimore City.
For 8 straight years, more than 300 people have been murdered in Baltimore. And 5 days into the new year, 14 people have already been shot and touched.
That's y'all's children. I'll leave the link to this video in the comment section once this uploads. Y'all need to take a look at this. These Black women are upset that their community looks the way it does. But they don't want to admit what's coming from between their legs is what's doing it. So let us keep having these babies and you find a way to fix it, society, because I got the right to have these babies. You don't tell me what to do. But when my baby gets old enough to shoot and stab, you need to have a program in place to deter him from doing such a thing. And it's getting so bad, a whole bunch of Black girls are following suit, and it's sad. These are y'all's children. At the recording of this video, the one on the screen, it was January 5th. They already up to 14 people shot. Do you hear me? So when motherfuckers say, oh, those stats ain't real, y'all need to get some new numbers. That shit ain't real. They tripping. Bullshit. And this is just one city. They not even talking about the suburbs, just one city. Okay? Crowd, what's up? Go ahead.
Well, judging by her bonnet in public that she's wearing, her kids are probably going to be the shooters next, just off the bonnet alone. Sorry.
They better not bring that shit to Virginia. They better stay in Maryland. I'm sorry. I don't want them to come over here.
But my point is, they cannot see that it's Baltimore proper. It's not Towson. It's not Silver Spring. You understand? They cannot see over in these other areas where that's not happening versus where they are. They can't put that together.
Well, my question is, first of all, notice they won't name the problem. Who is making Baltimore unsafe where you want to leave? Who? What demographic?
The same people who make DC unsafe, Milwaukee unsafe,
Philadelphia,
Cleveland, Philadelphia, yes,
Chicago.
Unsafe. Chicago, Southside, unsafe.
Detroit.
The same people making Compton unsafe. Houston
also,
unsafe.
Like, what are they mad at? Because what do they want? Do they want the police? They don't want the police to come, do they?
That's what I was
Do
about
they
to
want the
say.
police to come and protect the
It
people in the
doesn't.
car?
What they're doing does not work, because all she's gonna do, she sees what's happening, her and women like her. There, you want to jump up and you want to move and you want to drag these things along with you wherever you go, and it's gonna be the same problem repeating itself over and over and over and over again. How many times have we seen this? They come to a nice residential neighborhood, apartment complex, or whatever. They start dragging them along, and before you know it, you got all these break-ins. They stealing people's shit. I mean, and it's a complete cesspool within a few months because they keep dragging them every single place they go. So it's not gonna do them any good to move or anything like that, because they're gonna keep doing this, and this cycle gonna keep repeating itself. That's why there's not one major urban metropolitan city in this country that's not riddled with crime and violence, because this is what they do, and it's been like this for a minute, and we've been talking about this for the last 2 years. It's just getting progressively worse now, and now they're feeling the sting of it, and now they want to cry about it. And it's like, no, people been telling y'all your sons are running amok. Now it's out of their hands. It's like, no, y'all should have been trying to check this shit. People kept telling y'all, stop having these motherfuckers, stop spoiling and coddling these motherfuckers, stop doing letting them do all this shit. And it's like, now the shit is out of hand. It's out of control. It's too late now. I don't even know what the solution would be that for them to fix that shit. Because you could say don't have them, but these motherfuckers are already here.
Well,
Exactly,
Aaliyah,
Aaliyah.
this is why they're starting to do those things now where they're like, well, DZ, I think you did either the last live or the live before, how they're not accepting Section 8. How they're not, they're actually, like they said, you go in to try and get an apartment, they're going to look outside and see who's in the car. They are aware now, and they may not be able to do it right out because, racism, but they're going to find a way to not let that be like that. They're not going to let that.
Check this out, y'all. One little secret I want to tell y'all, because you've been trained that everything's racist when it's actually not. If you're getting ready to buy a house, move to a subdivision that has an HOA. That's number one. But look at the HOA bylaws, okay? A lot of times, if the bylaws say they have a noise ordinance that's enforced, and if it's not respected, it will be fined. Black people don't survive in those type of neighborhoods. They don't. I don't know what it is about that loud ass music, but they can't handle it. You have to go ahead and let the HOA know that you're going to have a get together at your house, and it must be in your backyard. There's not going to be any grills and all that shit in the front. They will fine your ass. I love the noise ordinance. The noise ordinance here. If your windows are up and we can still hear your music, you're going to have to pay $150 fine. Black people can't survive, because when that song come out and you hear a bitch go, hey, it's over for that bitch. It's over. So just a little secret.
Why are they like that? So loud and obnoxious for no reason. Like, nobody want to fucking hear that damn monkey music. Turn that shit down.
Here's the thing
because they
that
need
bothers
attention.
me. Okay, so mammies, so you can't bring the dude along, and you can't bring your kids along either. So dudes leave, children leave. Where's mammy gonna end up?
I don't know, but motherfuckers is finding out.
There you go.
Nobody is checking for your sons. They're starting to go ahead and put them down. You getting ready to see a whole bunch of bullshit go on with this one. Let's go, y'all. Hey, everybody don't like your son. I'm one of those people. I'm proud to say that, because y'all don't control them. You don't make sure that the environment is stable enough. And to be honest with you, with who they are, that wouldn't help either. But everybody not going for the shit. Let's get it.
There's nothing else to call this except for what it is, a tragedy. We first told you about this happening on Saturday. Police say Karan Blake was shot multiple times after a homeowner saw him allegedly breaking into cars. This happened Saturday at around 4 a.m. on Quincy Street and Michigan Avenue in Northeast. That's down the street from Brookland Middle School. Our Dio Gonzalez joins us live from that neighborhood tonight with the latest on this investigation. What are you learning, Dee?
Friends and family members, community members as well, came by this block, and they didn't want to go on camera, but they did share with us that Karan Blake was loved. And
y'all, I'm getting ready to show y'all something hypocritical. Remember, you heard her say Hassan Blake is loved trying to, tug at your heartstrings and this type of shit. Pay very close attention.
His life mattered. You can see that they left some flowers here in memory of that 13-year-old boy who lost his life Saturday morning here on this very block, the 1000 block of Quincy Street Northeast. Now, police say Blake was not armed, but the man who pulled the trigger lives in this very block. They say he's a registered gun owner, and he was performing CPR on the boy, we're told, when police arrived. An outpouring of grief on social media for a mild-mannered middle schooler who just last week was...
Do y'all believe that?
Mild-mannered?
Mild-mannered jump breaks into cars and stuff?
You can't make this shit up. I don't want to hear about your racism. Darling, word on the curb is the 6-year-old that hit the teacher. We gonna address that later. But I'm tired of this shit. Now, make no mistake about it. Since the man came outside, whoever he is, and he pulled the trigger, he's probably going to end up in jail. I'm just going to tell you that right now, because black men are a protected class. Black men and boys are protected. Make no mistake about that. But here comes some more hypocrisy. Y'all listen now.
Was gripping this book about peacemaker Gandhi.
They laying it on thick, ain't they? He's a peacemaker that wants to read Gandhi. You can't make this shit up. Y'all get away from these people. I know y'all got something to say on that. They said, oh my God.
Could he even spell Gandhi? I mean, without the book in front of him.
Did he even read? You know they can't read. Ask them to read out loud.
Did he know that Gandhi straight out said he doesn't like black people? I'm just curious if he was aware. Just
look.
Sorry.
I can't. Mild-mannered Gandhi reader breaking in cars. Let's keep going.
Sadly, 13-year-old Karan Blake was violently killed early Saturday morning, shot multiple times by a man only being identified as a homeowner in the 1000 block of Quincy Street Northeast.
If you feel that there is a public safety issue in or around your home, call 911. That is the appropriate thing to do.
But instead of calling 911, neighbors say after hearing noises, the homeowner stepped out of his house to confront the boy, who was allegedly breaking into cars. After some sort of confrontation, shots were fired.
We would rather be talking about a 13-year-old going to school today than to talk about him being killed on one of our streets.
Girl, fuck him.
And I am incredibly saddened by that.
WUSA 9 has learned Blake had a troubled childhood.
Wait a minute. Are you kidding me? The hypocrisy is crazy in this. Let's go.
Look at him. Look at his eyes.
I mean, there's nothing there. They're saying he's peaceful yet troubled. They say that he's breaking in cars, but yet he's peaceful. What?
And he reads Gandhi.
God damn, boy. They would never. The community would not do this for a black girl. Okay, let's keep going.
Of Child and Family Services since the age of 6, according to a close teacher.
So he was in custody of children and family services at the age of 6 and blah, 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 blah. Wait a minute. The first thing she said about him was that he was loved. You remember that? Which is it? Does his family love him, or was he a ward of the state? Y'all better take this shit with a grain of salt. It's bullshit.
In August 2021, DC police issued this missing persons flyer when then 11-year-old Blake disappeared from his Brookland neighborhood.
There are many, many kids, however, who are vulnerable, who are at risk, and who have already demonstrated that they will use guns and that they will commit crime. And so what I want everybody to know, in our city, we have programs and services for each of them.
Brookland school principal sent a letter home to families with resources for grief counseling and coping with trauma, saying in part, let us join in sending love and support to their family as they grieve this devastating loss.
I thought at risk meant you were at risk of being in harm's way, not committing the crime. Am
Well,
I
when it,
understanding that properly?
you are correct, but you got to remember this is a black boy, so he's oppressed and he's not part of society. Therefore, he's at risk because he's prone to these deviant fucking behaviors, and you have to be understanding because their background is different. So when you see a black boy doing something wrong, be compassionate. That's the shit they selling. I'm not buying it.
Where was
Back
Daddy?
here live.
Don't even
Where
ask.
was
Don't
Daddy?
even ask. He wasn't there. Daddy was doing the plantation buck thing, jiggling that thing around and making sure he had brothers and sisters that he don't know that he might end up fucking when he get older. Huh?
They tell me talking about their troubled, childhoods and shit. And it's like, y'all act like these are the only people who have had a rough childhood or grew up, in a fucked up environment or
Thank you,
something.
Aaliyah.
And you got
Thank you.
little black girls who grow up in the same neighborhoods, in the same areas, under the same conditions, and they do not act like this, period. And when they do, the community don't give them no passes. Don't nobody want to hear that shit.
And he
Let's
doesn't look like
finish
he
this.
was somebody who was nice to people anyway. He looks like he's the kind of kid. And someone said this too. And I was like, yeah, he gave me that same vibe. Like if I went to school with him, I'm sure I would have had to avoid him because he would have been nothing but a terror to me. But I'm
Let's
sorry,
finish this up. No, you're fine. Let's finish it up.
Live in Brookland, not only will the mayor have a meeting with school leaders Wednesday to talk about youth violence right there at Turkey Thicket, the rec center just right across the street. Tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, a community meeting held by Ward 5 council member Zachary Parker. He will talk to community members and stakeholders about this situation. He goes on to say that, quote, a car or material possession is not worth a life.
We're going to stop right there. So you mean to tell me with all these niggas out here that rob people for the most petty shit and kill them, I've never heard any of these newscasters say somebody's life is not worth material things. But when the pistol is turned and it goes to them, your life is worth more petty shit. But by the way, you motherfuckers stay flexing on people. Wait, it's coming, y'all. Tax season has arrived. Watch the posts that go down. They pretending like material shit shouldn't mean anything. You finna see a bunch of tax fraud, a bunch of buy here, pay here cars, a bunch of clothes, a bunch of bullshit, a bunch of pictures with them taking a picture of a stack of money that they pretending like they normally have, knowing that's that woman's tax return. Nigga, give that bitch back her money. That's her tax return. We know it. Between the days of January 31st and April 14th, that's that bitch's money. And she claiming the kids that you can't claim because number one, you didn't have a job. And number two, you weren't their full-time caregiver for the 12 months of that fiscal year. Baby, this is trash. Y'all are always flexing. I got this. I got that. I'll do what I got to do. I'll do what has to be done in order to get some shit. But when somebody is protecting themselves from having to get rid of their personal items because you taking it, oh, now it's time to come to the table and have a community meeting. And so we can solve this stuff. This is sad.
DZ,
yes.
Why wasn't that 13-year-old in the rec center?
I don't know.
So just to be clear, we're supposed to let little Tyrone just rob us blind and we're supposed to just accept it because, fuck all the work we've been putting into to buy things, the legitimate way. We should just bow our heads and let him rob us. That's their solution.
Kyra, hopefully that's all he does at this point. I mean, seriously, it's like we're basically supposed to just say, oh, whatever it is you want to do, you can do. Well, you're oppressed and all, so okay, go ahead, have at it. But listen, I am so happy to be in a state where they are loud and proud about the pew pew because I can't do it.
It's a mess. When I told y'all that the Black community has always been the same, I meant that shit. I wasn't saying it because it sounds good. It's just true. And here's the other part you don't like. It's not going to change. As a matter of fact, as the economy gets worse, it will get worse as well. They'll have more excuses to go ahead and knock you upside your head and snatch your purse and all that good shit because they was hungry. How you say it? Whatever. They was hungry, right? So you better get your shit and get up out of there. Okay. It doesn't matter what you feel. It doesn't matter what you want to happen. It doesn't matter your compassion. And I just love me. I only prefer black men. Girl, get your monkey ass up out of here with that nonsense. You understand? I am going to Discord so I can stop saying nigga and put hard R at the end of my shit. And we get ready to have us some tacos. All right. See you ladies in Discord. Love you.
Bye. Get your raggedy ass in the fucking shower. It's after 10 o'clock.